Steve Jobs was born in February 1955 in San Francisco, California. He was an American investor, business magnate, media proprietor, industrial designer, and co-founder of Apple Inc. and Pixar. The respected world business leader lives in the memory of many as a successful innovator of the modern era. His technological innovations connected us, and he matched that in his daily connections with people. But what was his daily routine? In today's video, we will give you a sneak peek into the daily routine of Steve Jobs. But first, remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's dive in. Steve Jobs' life was somewhat eccentric, but incredibly health-oriented in other ways. He focused on cultivating a balance between personal wellness and work life. Though he was an iconic figure, he was a human being who chose a quiet family life over a celebrity spectacle. He was known to avoid the celebrity circuit and go for a simple life, especially during the later years of his life. What is astonishing is how he lived an everyday family life. He was home with family every evening and never went out socially. Without his determination to connect people through technology and animation, perhaps we would not have the human connections and technological advancements we have today. Jobs' life and achievements are astonishing, and his emphasis on maintaining real-life human relationships helps us through several daily challenges. People would often go to Jobs with all kinds of problems, from personal to legal issues, but he would not focus on it if he didn't want to deal with it. He would give them a sort of blank stare. Eventually, he would pick 4 to 5 things, what he considered really important, focus on them, and filter out the rest. Steve Jobs incorporated wellness habits into his daily routine. Here is a mosaic routine of Steve Jobs' typical day. Waking up. Steve Jobs was a morning person who preferred waking up early, at about 6 a.m. He used to put on the same outfit daily to avoid wasting time deciding and picking what to wear every morning. He always wore blue jeans and a black mock turtleneck by Issey Miyake. Work. Jobs had a pretty sophisticated setup that allowed him to work at 6:30 a.m. whether at home, at Apple, or at Pixar. He had set up a dedicated transmission system that allowed him to access all his files at home, and his office was at home too. If he was not in meetings, his work was on email. Such a setup allowed him to work for approximately an hour before his kids got up. Breakfast. Steve Jobs preferred to have breakfast with his family at around 7:30 a.m. They will have some food together, finish homework with the kids, and see them off to school. Their usual breakfast snack would include whole or dried fruits with veggies and juices. Most of the family's veggies and fruits come from a home garden. Arrive at the office. Jobs got to his office between 8 and 9 a.m. after working for about an hour at home. He considered himself lucky because he could get most of the things done from home, though he often went to the office. Meetings. As the company's CEO, Jobs would have a face-to-face management meeting every Monday at 9:30 a.m., reviewing the whole business. They would look at the sales for the week before, the progress of each product under development, products having trouble, and products whose demand is greater than they could produce. They would hold these meetings every week, and Jobs would put out an agenda, though 80% would be similar to the previous weeks. Apple did not have many processes, but the Monday review meeting helped all the departments be on the same page. He referred to the Monday meeting as a marathon meeting, and it comprised Apple's top 10 executives. He would meet the marketing team every Wednesday. Lunch. Jobs was a fruitarian, a subset of veganism, and usually had his lunch at noon. He occasionally ate 1 or 2 fruits like apples and carrots for weeks at a time. His obsession with food began when he was a teenager and was so profound that it influenced the identity of the company he created, Apple Inc. After his cancer diagnosis, physicians and family encouraged him to take more proteins, especially from animal sources. He developed a liking for eggs and sushi, including salmon, yellowtail, and tuna. He would most likely be considered a pescatarian in his later life. Steve Jobs would visit the local Whole Foods store to pick vegetables and whole wheat bread. He was a regular at Palo Alto's Fresh Yogurt Cafe. Visit Design Lab. Jobs would spend his afternoon from 1:30 p.m. in the Industrial Designs Lab with Apple's top designer, Jony Ive, and his team of designers, working on prototypes of future products. If they were working on a new iPhone, he would grab a stool and start playing with the models and feeling them in his hands. Product review meetings and related deliberations took up most of his workday. He trusted his intuition on new product designs and improvements, establishing himself as Apple's ultimate end user. Emails, phone calls, and meetings. Jobs would have another meeting or respond to calls and emails from 3 p.m. Customers would email him with all kinds of questions and complaints, which he had grown to like. He compared it to having a thermometer on virtually every issue and would receive emails and calls from people he would never meet. Jobs made his email public when he was the CEO, receiving and responding to around 100 emails and 10 phone calls each day between Apple and Pixar. He would conduct rehearsals for the forthcoming keynote presentations in the afternoons. Jobs was notably a fan of walking meetings and felt they could assist in uniting perspective and outlook. Dinner. Like breakfast, Steve Jobs liked to have dinner with his wife Laureen and the kids sitting around the wooden table in his kitchen. The typical dinner included pasta with raw tomatoes, steamed cauliflower, fresh raw corn, and a salad with raw shredded carrots. Their 6-year-old son would pick lemon verbena and a variety of other herbs from the garden for after-dinner tea while the others ate. His reward was a tickle, and his dad tucking him into bed later at night. Steve Jobs did not drink alcohol apart from an occasional glass of wine. Take a walk with Laureen. At 6:30 p.m., Jobs and his wife Laureen would grab a few bottles of mineral water from the fridge and take a stroll around Palo Alto. Music and spiritual meditation. Steve Jobs would end his day at 10 p.m. with music and spiritual meditation. Music helped him to recenter spiritually and emotionally. Meditation helped him filter out what he considered distractions. His favorite artists included Bob Dylan and Bach. Steve Jobs once said, "What I do all day is meet with teams of people and work on ideas and new problems to come up with new products." What do you think of Steve Jobs' life and daily routine? What impact does he have on your life? Leave your views in the comments section below. Make sure you don't miss exciting videos from us by subscribing to our channel.